As artificial intelligence continues to advance, we can't help but notice the impact of AI models like ChatGPT, Copilot, Gemini, and there's many more. You might call them your new virtual assistants, as they are reshaping our digital world and helping us with tasks that before were handled by people. Now, you may use AI to generate human-like text, to answer questions, even to give you ideas, or perhaps create images or videos. And besides helping you in unique ways, AI tools are possibly doing something else. They may be taking over tasks for you that were previously handled by search engines like Google, Bing, Yahoo, or the others. So the question is, will AI virtual assistants replace traditional search engines? And that's a topic that my guest today, Dean Mercado, and I are going to talk about. Mainly, I'm going to ask a few questions, and Dean is our expert. Dean, welcome.
Thank you, Jeff. I'm so glad to be here with you. And what a great topic,
Oh, it's a good one.
right?
So let's talk about this. What do you think, Dean? Is Google being shown the door, so to speak?
Well, I wouldn't say that Google's being shown the door as much as they are the new door. They're a big part of the new door. You know, all the big companies, all the big tech companies are involved. A lot of them have been using and playing with this stuff for years before we even knew about it. It's just more recently, it's become a public thing and it's become more accessible to us basically through things and the intro tool being like a chat GPT opening that doorway for us. And now we're starting to see what's going on here and what's possible down the road. And those of us savvy business owners out there, we really need to open our eyes up and pay attention to what's happening here because life, even 6 months from now, is going to be very different online than it was today. Right? So,
Yeah.
bottom line is we've been dependent on the search engines, right? Google had them, Bing had them, Yahoo had them, whoever had them. The search engine for the last couple of decades, things were very keyword driven.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody searches for a specific keyword and then maybe they get what they want, right? So we're seeing this shift now. And it's been shifting this way in the search engines as well, but we're seeing this shift going from keyword based to intent based search, where we're able to actually ask full blown questions now and get real solid, definitive answers. And we're seeing it even in the search engines. The search engines are deprioritizing organic search results. So your company's listing is moving down and down and down as right at the top of the page, they've got a little bit of an AI feedback right at the top, giving you an AI answer. That kind of stuff's been going on already.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, Jeff, you and I, even in sidebar conversations, you're mentioning how you use ChatGPT to do searches now, where you search for information all the
Yeah.
time, right?
So there's different ways to use AI. Obviously, you have your traditional generate some text. Um, I know some people use it for marketing copy, but there are tools within like ChatGPT that if you do a deeper dive, all types of research tools you can use to scour the internet, to look at a specific website. You can even take an Excel document, I think even a PDF, and dump it in there, and it'll give you some type of report. But I
That's
know
right.
that when I sit down and watch a movie, like with my wife, we'll talk about who's that character? Where have we seen that person before? It's always Google we go to. So I don't really use Chat GPT or the other AI tools for common questions like that. But for ideas and generating things that are useful for work, 100%, it's a great tool.
Sure.
So all these search engines we're talking about, you mentioned they have their own version of AI. So there must be working them together. They don't want to lose out on the search function to AI only, but they own it as well. Must be quite the partnership they're working on.
Oh, there's no doubt. There's a lot going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to at this point. But one thing's for certain, certain things and certain principles are never going to change. And we'll get into some strategies later where I'll
Right.
drive a little deeper into that. Um, but the bottom line, things we're going to see, there's going to be challenges right out of the gate. We're going to see a decrease in what we call organic traffic that we would normally get from search engines to our websites and so on and so forth. Now, I've had a lot of people asking me, even at this past event that we were just in Chicago, asking me the very question, are websites still relevant? Yes, they are still relevant. Just how you go about them is going to be slightly different, right? The way you present your content is going to change,
Mm-hmm.
right? Thought on that? Question on that?
Well, in a way, because when you want to find information, we would always go to Google or Bing or Yahoo, Google being the biggest one.
Yeah.
Now, when you go to AI and ask a question, so I guess I have a two-part angle here. You go to ChatGPT, you ask a question, it's going to give you all the information you need. You might not need to go to a website. So
Bingo.
our business owners are going to lose out on getting that traffic, those potential customers to their site. At the same time, how much do you trust that information? Like when we say, I Googled this and it said, people kind of go, oh, okay, it must be true.
Right.
So any thoughts there?
Yeah, that's a great concern and an important concern that everybody needs to have. Yes, you will see a significant decrease in the organic search traffic, as mentioned before. Yes, you have to question the validity of every piece of content you get from the internet. I don't care if it's from a search engine, from AI, from anything. Now, what people are used to seeing as search engines, like going to Google, they attribute that to being, I'm going to the search engine. Remember, Google has AI built right into it. So you may, for the foreseeable future, still be going to Google, still be going to Yahoo or Bing or any of those and doing a search, not even realizing that the replies they're giving you are AI generated replies. Now, my gut tells me that at some point there's going to be real legal issues here, that companies, the bigger companies in particular, that can afford the litigation around this, are going to start pushing back and saying, hey, look, you're using my content without giving me credit, without citing the source of that content. That's going to be problematic for a little while longer, right? Somehow it's going to work its way out. But, at the end of the day, it's going to be somewhat seamless to you in terms of how you're using the AI when it comes to searching for things, right? But yes, you will be typing in more interactive search queries as opposed to just a one-word search. So the way we use the search engines or the Googles, Yahoos, and Bings, I don't want to call them necessarily just a search engine anymore. They're way more than that, right? How you use those is going to change. And the better you get at being crystal clear and asking for exactly what you want, the better the responses you're going to get back. The better the companies put content on their websites that address your specific needs in the way you would ask them, right? You're more likely going to be the stuff that AI is serving up. And when they do start adding sources into that to say where this content's coming from, you will get credit for that. But the bottom line is, this world has changed. This is not even like, this is even more severe, in my opinion, than when the internet came into the picture, how that changed business. This is even more so heavy, because now it's a complete 100% game changer, not only for SEO, but how we think about interacting with our clients, our prospects, our suspects out there, people who we think might be interested in what we do, right? So when it comes to your website, when it comes to serving up content, that content needs to be more conversational, more intent driven, more responsive to real problems, not just, hey, this is who we are, we're the best. Okay, great. I really don't care about you. Solve my problem. That's where people are today. The attention span is gone. So what and so forth. If they want to know more about you, they will go check you out. That will happen, right? So, yeah, I mean, the challenges are incredible. I look at, the organic traffic is going to be a problem. The way we measure our success online is going to change drastically. We're all just used to Google Analytics, the way we used it before. It's going to change. The way we're seeing things going to change. I also say that standing out overall is going to be significantly harder. If you're not niching down, if you're not speaking the exact language of your ideal target market, good luck. You're not going to do very well online. The internet, from what I've heard, is already starting to eliminate content, not index it anymore. So all that junk you got on your website, I have it too. I'm guilty, right? Got to start paring it down. Get rid of the garbage. This is what I call, and it'll be one of my strategies, is what I call the fewer better. You know, you really got to focus on the fewer better and get right to the heart of the matter of what the challenges your target market is facing, what the questions they're asking are, answer those questions in a way that's conversational, and you will be served up, whether it's through the whatever's left of a search engine or the AI component of it, or someone just going to ChatGPT, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are fancy ways that we can get into in a moment to do that even more.
So I agree, and I like that, because if a search engine can wade through the noise of all the people do just throw content, thinking they have a whole bunch of words to share, keywords, put it on there, not really that valuable to the one looking for the information. The key, the reason why they're doing that is to get people there. But if Google and Bing and Yahoo using AI and all the things they do that I don't understand.
Right.
It shows the stuff that we really need. That's a win. But to wrap up today's issue or today's episode, I believe you're going to talk about future-proofing your website or future-proofing your SEO.
Yeah.
Interesting topic. So I'll turn over to you to talk about that.
Sure. I'd be happy to. Let's just preface this by answering a question that may be on people's minds that says, is SEO dead? No, it's not. It's just evolving, right? And it's evolving at a much more rapid pace than it ever had before in the past. Now, what was true with search engines is going to be true with AI as well, from the standpoint of you've got to really be thinking about your target market and serving up quality, not quantity. So when we get into a point I was starting to drive before, the first strategy is learning how to leverage data and analytics for this segment of SEO. It's not just about click-through rates and traffic. It's about more conversion. So learning how to set goals in your analytics tools and stuff like that, so that you know when somebody does come, those conversion rates are going to be pretty important. And there's a lot more data you're going to have to look at. But you really need to be able to look at the data to understand which content of yours is actually working and which content is not. And there will be more and more and more new data tools that are going to start popping up on the market, even as soon as today and tomorrow, that are going to start popping up, that are going to open this game up way more for you. But understand that your traditional, and dare I say it, lazy approach to just looking at some basic Google Analytics numbers that are standard and stock there for you, it's not going to cut it. It's just not going to do it. Learning how to use the data is critically important for you, right? Learning what your audience is responding to and what they're not responding to, very, very important. So second one, I would say, this one, the last time we talked about SEO in a big way, Jeff, was, I don't know if it's almost a year ago on this podcast, going back way back. Same concept, right? It's about quality, not quantity, content, right? And how we define quality content has been morphing, whether people are paying attention or not. Google is, in their search engines, even has submitted several algorithm releases in the last year or two, the helpful content release, things like that. They don't want to hear the garbage anymore, and nor does your audience, right? Google is just serving up what your audience has been saying. They don't want the crap. They want the good stuff. Cut to the chase. I don't want 5,000 results. Just show me the 1-2 results that's going to get me what I need. So quality content in the manner that your audience wants to consume it. People are much more likely to consume video over text, right? That's just, it is what it is. You know, talking about topics that are specific to what you really do and your niche, keeping your your content hyper focused in a silo, a vertical of content, very important, because we don't need a cleaning company, let's say, talking about accounting. Yeah, if you want to mention it, okay, that's fine, but not where you're positioning yourself as an accountant expertise, not really necessary, not going to help you so much. If it's meant to directly address something with a client, fine. You do what you got to do, right? Because we always write for people first, search engines and AI second, right? So quality over quantity. So you're going to have to scour through all your content. I would say 20% of your content stays, 80% gone. It's that simple. It's looking at your content and being really critical. So if you're being judged on the quality of what you produce, right? Do you really want 80% garbage representing you? Probably not. So eliminating a lot of that and hyper focusing, very important, and providing that content in the manner that your audience likes to consume content, right? I would say for a big third, voice search. You've got to learn how to optimize for voice search. You've heard of chatbots and things like that. People are more and more interacting with AI and what's left of the search engines using their voice. They're asking questions as if they're talking to a friend. So when I talk about voice search, that means your content needs to be more conversational. It needs to sound like the way you speak. The more conversational it is, the better. And if you provide the opportunities on your website for people to interact with it that way, right? And for the ChatGPTs of the world to recognize that when you've got an FAQ on your website, that's prime stuff to be served up in an AI search or an AI query. So how you position your content on your website, very important. These voice searches are critical. So if you think of it that way, that you got somebody on your other end is asking verbally the question, how you respond to that on your website, very important, right? I would also say something I've talked about for years. Building a strong online presence is always going to matter. It will always matter. And that's our fourth big tip here. You've really got to focus on your brand. So if your brand is strong and recognized as strong on the internet, who's AI going to serve up? When they do serve up, they're going to serve up the most reputable stuff, just like the search engines did. AI is just presenting it differently, presenting it more completely, right, than search engines were before. So building that brand presence, very, very important. And there are a number of ways, and that's a whole nother conversation for another day about how to build your brand. And the last one I'm going to leave you with is the genie's out of the bottle. It's that simple. You either embrace the AI at this point or you lose when it comes to your company online, and how you're going to market it and how you're going to sell and all of that. So it's about embracing AI and the tools that AI is going to bring. And there are numerous tools being released every day. Jeff, you mentioned a couple of cool ones at the beginning of this. Yeah, those and thousands more, right? You no longer have to generate your own images anymore. You can have AI generate whatever imagery you need for things you're writing, things you're producing. You need a cool image for an ad you're doing? Great, have AI produce it. I do that kind of stuff with AI, and yes, it's going to phase out certain jobs, but the opportunities that it's going to open up for these new types of jobs, just the way the internet did. The internet opened up a whole new slew of new jobs. Everyone was complaining then. Oh, we're going to lose all these jobs. Yeah, you're going to lose the jobs that maybe a lot of people don't want to do anyway. But you're going to gain a lot of new jobs, a lot of new opportunity out there. So embracing the AI. So bottom line, we've got leveraging the data and the analytics in the new way, right? We've got number 2, we're creating high quality, go after the fewer better content. 3, optimizing for voice search. 4, building that brand stronger than ever online. If you're weak online, good luck. It's not going to happen. And the 5th is embracing AI and the many, many tools it brings. That should be a calling card for all of you. Finishing out 2024, stepping into 2025, it's about realizing you can embrace all of AI today. You find the 1, 2, 3 tools that solve a problem for you, that present you in the way that you want to be presented, that help you serve your client better, your target market better, that help you hone your content better. I did that event in Chicago, right? And I was blowing their minds when I was showing them the ChatGPT scripts to write all of their processes for them and all their, procedures, their SOPs. I gave them the whole formula on how to do that. Now, whether they use it or not, it's up to them, right? Always remember, the purpose of AI is to get you 80% of the way there. If it can get you 80% of the way there, you still have to manage it. You still have to lead it. You still have to take it where you need it to go. So I hope this was helpful. And I hope it's a little bit of a crying call for people. Search engines, I won't miss them when they go. They're not going tomorrow, but I won't miss them because it's ineffective to a lot of degree. It's very inefficient. I have to put in a keyword and I get something back, and then I got to further search and further search. Just the way it goes about it, it's not as intuitive as the way AI is approaching it now. My opinion.
You say that now, next month it could be different.
That's right. That's right. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So for right now, I mean, you called me an expert. Am I an expert? Who's to say? Just as far as I use it like crazy. Yeah. Okay. If that's what we define an expert as, okay. I use it successfully.
Well, I think there's some value to what you just said, because to be an expert in something, you use your available tools.
That's
AI
right.
Can be one of those tools. While you were talking, I was looking down at my phone. I was paying attention.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking, we think of AI maybe using the text generated part of it.
Right.
Generative text. But there's so much more to it. You start looking at these tools like ChatGPT has writing, productivity, research and analysis, programming, education, lifestyle. Each one of those has different. So it's just we think about an assistant, an AI assistant. That's what this is.
Most of my clients that I coach now are all starting to name her or him, giving it a name. And I do too in my business. It is the single best assistant I've ever had in my life. I ask it to analyze data. I ask it to write pieces for me. I ask it to clarify, pieces for me. I tell it who my target market is and ask it for its opinion, right? I use an example or an analogy all the time of a caddy with a pro golfer. She's my caddy, right? I ask her which way the grass is going, to the left, to the right. So this way, when I putt the ball, it's going to go in the direction, that's best, right? That caddy knows that course and knows that course well. So that's all it is. It's not replacing us. It's there to serve us. It's our willingness to take control of it, take the reins and go for it. See what it can do.
Yeah. I mean, I think of people building houses 100 years ago. They saw the tools. They saw tools coming as they advanced in years, thinking maybe it'll take away my job. But no, it just made it better, easier.
Absolutely. Yeah. Better, easier, and opened up new jobs.
Every industry could say that. Every job we have, you could say the same thing. So this is just one more.
And I'll put that call to action out there to everybody who's listening. Whether you're a cleaning company, a restoration company, irrelevant. If you are not at the cutting edge of this stuff, you will get left behind very quickly, because those who are embracing this stuff are going to be the ones getting the phone calls.
Exactly.
Hey, I got a problem. I need help. You want to make sure that you're playing this SEO game with AI in a way that it's serving you up as much as possible. So even people going to AI and asking the question, hey, I got a problem. I have a major pipe leakage in my basement. I need some help with restoration, cleaning up my basement, that kind of stuff. Can you recommend a couple of companies near me? People are going to just ask AI that. Don't you think it's going to look across the internet and it's going to still find your website? It's going to still find your address. It's going to look for good, useful content on your website. If it finds it, it'll serve you up and say, here you go. Here's 3. And hopefully one of them's you. So we can look at it like we can avoid it and say, well, we're just going to wait and see what happens. Don't. I'm telling you, because the clients I'm working with, they're embracing it. They're embracing it hard and quick. And they're going to dominate. That's my gut. They're going to dominate, because they can do a lot more with less. And I think that's something we all need to be concerned with. It will save me money. It'll save me time,
yes.
And make me money, right? On top of that. So
yeah.
big time, good stuff.
All right, Dean. Well, we're out of time, but thank you for your expert advice.
Love it, Jeff. I'm happy to be here, man.